Let me guess. You're someone who gets a strong emotional reaction when you see something triggering. It could be something as simple as an Instagram story, or it could even be a post from someone you know. Either way, something like that still triggers you. Where I'm going with this is, for some reason, you get into a state of flight or fight when you see something triggering and it's just causing you problems. In this video, I'm going to be explaining why that is and how it's negatively impacting you. I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, we just tend to cling to the people that we're around. Like, regardless of if there's someone that we know personally, or there's someone from our class, or someone that we know from our year group or whatever, we tend to cling to them in some sort of quiet way. And I know this is true because it happened to me. It's that we hold on to the validation other people give us, especially when they're close to us. When I say close, I don't mean someone that you can tell everything to. I mean someone that's physically close and someone that you're around quite a bit. It's usually common when you share the same environment and you have to see the same people every day. Mainly it is school, but it can be other places too. What this causes us to do is it basically makes us compare our actions to theirs, even if they're objectively worse people. So for example, you watching this, you might be doing great things for yourself. You're going to the gym now, you're revising for your exams, and you're basically trying to improve yourself in small little areas of your life, whilst being around people that are literally going nowhere and aren't locked in. A number one example of this is if you go to the gym and you use TikTok and you're 16, you might immediately compare yourself to another 16-year-old who goes to the gym and posts content on TikTok. Like, it's very easy for your mind to compare yourself, especially when you're lacking the progress and lacking the results. And the thing is, like, we compare ourselves to losers without even realizing it. There's a group of people in your school right now, in your year group that you can think of, that objectively they're lower quality, right? They're losers, they're not going anywhere, right? They're not going anywhere, they're not making progress. But objectively, in our minds, in small ways, we compare ourselves to them and we basically try to see if we're anything alike. And it all starts from school because in some way, we always compare ourselves to like the popular group in school. So if there's a popular group of guys in school, you compare yourselves to them. If there's a popular group of girls in your school, you compare yourself to where you are and how they see you. Like, it's just, it all stems from like a young age, and it all stems from like school and stuff like that. To fix this and to basically understand why we compare ourselves, we need to go back in time and we need to do an actionable step that basically tackles the core wound itself. And it's that we all have compared ourselves to the popular group in school at least once. And if you're anyone like me, it's basically been quite a few times basically, right? But this is what you need to do. We need to tackle this, we need to go back in time, and we need to put ourselves in our younger selves and basically undo the core wound that's basically been put on us. What you need to do is you kind of just want to close your eyes and just think to yourself that, picture yourself in year 10, year 9, year 8, right? And just see the popular kids in your school and see how they're reacting and how they're acting and how they are around everyone else. And just say to yourself, like, literally picture this in your own head and just say, why are they popular? Like, literally, that's the only question you need to ask yourself. And just in your own mind, just start to think about why they're popular and what that even means, right? They could be popular because they're attractive, or they're socially high status because their parents have money, or they're, for whatever reason, they're just higher up. Ask yourself why that is, right? And then ask yourself what that means. Because with me, what I personally experienced is that when you're in year 10, when you're in year 11, when you're in year 9 even, the popular people in your year, right, they're up here, right? When you go to like year 12, year 13 and you finish school, they drop so sharply. And I've had like a discussion with some of my friends about this, like my close friends, and it's that the people who are so higher up suddenly just collapse and they're nobodies. Like, but then we still hold the same image to them when we finish school. And it's like, ask yourself why the people that you've set in the popular group are popular, and then ask why that means anything. Because with me, I remember once I did that, I objectively started to see those like popular group as to who they are. And it gave me like a reasoning to like just ask myself, why am I even comparing myself to people in general when they're not similar to me? We don't have any similar goals. We aren't going to be in the same place in the next 5 years. And that's another thing as well. One thing that helped me a lot is, let's say you're in an environment, right, like school or like work or whatever, it doesn't matter, or in the gym. Just ask yourself, where's this person gonna be in 5 years, and where am I gonna be in 5 years? And with me, when I did this, because I kind of do this in school, if I'm in a class and I kind of feel left out and people are kind of just by their own groups and I'm just doing my own stuff, sometimes you get those thoughts that are like, oh, I'm not part of this group, like I don't belong here. And I just remember, like, in that moment, I think it's good for you and for me to do this whenever you feel like you're in an environment that isn't benefiting you and you just have to be there, like usually it is school or it's like work or something, but just ask yourself, where am I going to be in 5 years and where are they going to be in 5 years? Because I remember when I did that, there was literally just like a parallel split between where I would be in 5 years and where the other people that I was like around would be in 5 years. And it's just that most people end up living a life of degeneracy. They don't take care of their health. They don't do shit like brush their teeth and they don't take care of themselves. Like, this is the future of of most people in the future, because we've got to a point in the society where everyone's occupied by their phones, they're scrolling, they're basically wasting time, they don't have any control over themselves, they're using music to numb out all their problems. There's no point where they're just sat by themselves and looking at their mistakes and where they are, because everything's distracting them. They're nourishing themselves with junk food that has like all these chemicals in, which are giving them health problems. All these things combine to just make you visualize and realize that where you are right now, you're going to be so different to all those people, because you're probably like me, you're probably going to the gym, you're probably moving away from social media, you're probably looking for ways to improve your life, you're looking for ways to improve relationships. If you're doing all these things, there's a complete 180 between where you are right now and where you're going to be in 5 years versus where the other people around you are going to be and where they're going to be in 5 years. What you can really realize is that you're just different, and it's never great to compare yourself to those types of people, but just for whatever reason, we just tend to just compare ourselves to people that are just, it's just been programmed in us from young, right? Because from, remember in primary school where you had the popular group and you were the ones that were at the bottom, at least I was. And then in secondary school, you were kind of just that person who was kind of just in the middle. Like with me, I kind of just knew everyone in my year group. So when I was in year 10, year 11, maybe like year 9, year 8, I kind of just knew everyone. Everyone knew me, but I wasn't close necessarily with everyone. Like, I was kind of just on my own path, and people would just see that, like, I was just on my own path and he was just doing his own shit, he was just leveling up, but I was never associated with any group. So what you can do specifically, right? This is something you can do. And you watching this, you're an ambitious young guy, you have huge goals for yourself, right? I know that, and you know that. You know that you want success in the future, and you know that you're basically going places that no one else will. Because of that, basically just imagine and just visualize your success in the future. Visualize where you're going to be, what car you're going to drive, what house you're going to be in, the girl that's going to be standing next to you, or the girls, because like me, I'm just going to have multiple ones. But anyways, where I'm going with this is that I want you to just visualize the success you're going to have and where you're going to be compared to the people that are around you and aren't doing things for themselves. Really, really just sit down, close your eyes and just visualize that specifically. And I promise you, if you do that for 5 to 10 minutes and you just really, really see it, and you basically your own brain and body will just react to that, and it'll be like, yeah, I'm just so different to these people. And there'll be a moment after you've done it, after the 5 to 10 minutes of the actionable step that I've just given, where you'll just sit there and you'll be like, why have I actually ever compared myself to these people, and why am I actually still worrying about it? Because it genuinely doesn't mean anything. It genuinely doesn't. And then there's this realization that you get, and it's like, this is who I am now. I'm on a new chapter, I'm on a new path. I'm just not compared myself to these people. The bottom line of this video, and the number one message I want to give, is realize that comparison culture is just toxic. It's a toxic thing that doesn't help you, and it basically gives you no cost benefit. You end up comparing yourself to someone whose lives won't even matter 1 year from now, and the best thing you can do is set goals, set a mission, and just march towards that. Moving forwards, prioritize your own life, and I want you, more importantly, to implement a mindset shift so that you stop comparing yourself to other people, and so that you actually are around people that you want to be more like, you're around people that you actually respect, and people that you're actually close to. Also, sometimes I know you still do get into like the bit where you're comparing yourself to other people. What I would recommend doing is reframe it. If you're still struggling with it, frame it as you're seeing other people live their lives as awareness. See it as, this is where they are, this is where I am, this is where we are in time. Like, for example, if you're in year 11 and you're just finishing school, see like a girl partying as, this is where girls will be when they're 17, this is where I am, this is where I'll be. Kind of just map out in your head where you are and where other people are and where you're gonna be. That way it helps so much. Also, if things are triggering, which I know they will be because they definitely were for me. Like, you see someone at a party and it's just degenerate, or you see someone doing something that you just don't like, use that as motivation to just run faster towards your goals and get away from all the people. Like, I remember with me when I finished like school and stuff, I remember I used to see people doing degenerate stuff and being like doing bad habits basically, right? And it would just infuriate me and it pissed me off. I don't know why it would, it just would. I know other people can relate to that, where when they see other people from their year or their class or the people they know, they kind of just get annoyed when they're doing bad habits, even though it's not them. It's just a strange thing which I think that I relate to and I think other people relate to. But when that happens, where I'm going with this is, you want to use that as motivation to run away and basically move away from them so that you can just live a life that's successful, happy, and you don't need to basically be around them. So if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe, as it really helps my channel out. And it basically helps me understand that this video is useful. But as always, before I go, there's one last thing I'll say, and it's that always strive for excellence, because great things will come your way.